Welcome to our Checkpoint 1 video. The data background, it's a bunch of data from UCI Machine Learning Repository, socioeconomic status, law enforcement and demographic information from the 1990 census and 1990 Law Enforcement Management Administration statistics and FBI crime reporting system. The variables we used were state, which is a 2-character representation of the name of the state. We used a lot of percentages, mostly percentages of the people in that community who meet that requirement out of the total number of people. For example, the percent of population under poverty, the percent unemployed, the police on patrol, the number of police on patrol out of the number of police officers. The budget per population is the budget divided by the population of the community. We have a lot of educational percentages for if they passed the 9th grade, if they made it to 9th grade, if they graduated high school or not, or if they graduated college or not. We also have violent crimes per population and non-violent crimes per population that we combine to make total crimes. We have a lot of the variables that we didn't use include the ton of housing data and demographic data. For data cleaning, am I supposed to say this?
So for data cleaning, we removed the rows that had missing data. A lot of this missing data was in the policing data, which was pretty spotty at best. So most of the removed rows because of missing policing data. And then we also added total crimes, which was the sum of violent and non-violent crimes. And then finally, we removed all the columns that we weren't using. That was actually the first thing that we did. We checked for incorrect percentages, which would be if percentages were over 100% or less than 0%, but there was nothing to fix in that regard. So in terms of summary statistics, here you can see all of our minimums, maximums, and means and medians. They might be a little difficult to see in the video, so a few summaries of what's going on. The police patrol rate generally doesn't go beneath 10%, and it maxes out at nearly 100%. The highest is 99.94% of police on patrol. The budget per population ranges from 15,000 to 2 million. We can see that non-violent crimes make up 85% of the median total crimes. So violent crimes are a very small percentage. And then you can just, a lot of the ranges are written out here. The percentage of the population under the poverty line ranges from 2% to 44%. Unemployment ranges from 2% to 16%. Then you can see that the 9th grade, high school grad, and bachelor's or more are pretty similar. So they minimum of 1% that didn't pass 9th grade, minimum of 4% that didn't get to a high school graduate, and a minimum of 6% with a bachelor's degree or more. And you can see they max out at 40% that didn't graduate, didn't pass 9th grade, 55% didn't pass high school, and then 65 or more have bachelor's degree or more. Those are the maximum rates, with medians of 9, 24, and 20 respectively. So those are the summary statistics. Lots of things to parse, but the most important things have been highlighted.
So with all these different variables, we wanted to identify the correlations that some of these may have with each other. And with regards to that, I know it looks small on the screen, but some patterns that we noticed were the regards with education and lower education leading to more unemployment, and also more poverty in those regions. And specific values include the percent of people under ninth grade and the percent under poverty shows a correlation of 0.59, and the percent of non-high school grads to poverty is 0.66, which are moderately strong relationships that could demonstrate linearity. And along with that, the percent unemployed for those two specific education levels are 0.67 and 0.77, indicating a stronger linear relationship. But interestingly enough, when looking at the percentage police and the police budget, they showed very weak relationships regarding the education and poverty levels, showing that there may be a large variety and not true focus for the right regions that have the right amount of allocation of budget and police percentage. Along with that, with regards to the total number of crimes, we did notice that there were moderately strong relationships with the percent under poverty and the percent unemployed, with values of 0.63 and 0.41. But with regards to education, they showed weaker relationships with the total number of crimes. And this could be a result of the variances that we also found. With regards to the percent unemployed and the percent under poverty, they showed smaller variances with variances of 6.1 and 53. But for education and levels of ninth grade, high school, they showed levels of 37 and 97, which showed a lot more disbursement in the education levels across many regions. And along with that, the total crimes and police budget per population showed very high variances, which could indicate that the allocation of police budget and percentage of police in areas showed variability and explains the weaker correlations in the different topics.
Among the plots chosen to show the data, the first one is total crimes by state using box plots with the IQR rule applied for outliers. A couple things to point out is that there's some very high variance states for crime rates, such as Florida, as shown on the left here, and some very low variance states like Nevada on the right. Additionally, all of these ones where it's just a line across, there's only a single community included in those per state after data cleaning, which definitely messes with the data, but the outliers are clear by the dots on these. Some other selected graphical representations. We have total crimes versus poverty rate, which has a fairly clear trend, but variability increases as poverty percent increases, sort of funneling outward. Additionally, shown on the right here is total crimes versus police budget per capita. Very unclear trend, multiple high leverage influential points here, noted such as Georgia, Florida, and this other Florida community here, which definitely draw it out and make it very hard to determine the trend. And then finally a box plot of all of the different predictors. On the far left you have a box plot of police budget per capita. All of these are with the 1.5 times the IQR outlier rule applied. In all of these box plots you can see that the outliers are all on the high end. In the middle you have box plot of total crimes, and on the end here you have box plots of poverty, unemployment, and education variables, with the education being in the middle here, less than ninth grade, not high school graduate, and Bachelor of Science or more, and then under poverty here and unemployed at the end.
That's all we have.
Thank you.
Thanks.